What is happening, family? Jermaine Harris here, of course, lead mentor at the Fast Coach Academy, and I wanted to come and talk to my aspiring speakers. And I wanted to have that conversation around getting people on side. How do you get people to listen? People may be sat at a conference, they may have listened to other speakers, they may have had a couple of days of conferencing, and they may be starting getting tired, they may be hungover from the night before, right? Lots of different factors that you can feel when you enter the room as a speaker. Maybe as an aspiring speaker and you're in the early days, just like I was, you might be feeling that, or feeling those situations where you're there for free and you perhaps haven't got a brand as such yet, and no one knows who you are, you haven't got a book, you haven't got anything that is positioning you as an expert just yet. And we talk about how to do some of those things at the Fast Coach Academy. But just that feeling where it's a little bit uneasy, where audience members, for whatever reason, aren't totally excited to sit down and listen to you. Now, the way to overcome that and to get people on side, that's what I love to do, I love to get people on side, is to go through a process right at the start that is powerful, insightful, and makes people want to listen to the rest of your talk. And a great way to do this, first of all, is to get them engaged. It's to get their what you would call buy-in. And a great way to do this is to ask them a question. And here's the trick, is to ask them both sides of the question, or to ask them a question you know that the answer has to be yes for everyone in the room. Now, let's think of an obvious one. Let's say you talked about families and in a room where you knew that everyone had children. You could ask the question, how many of you would love your children to be happy? And you say, raise your hands. And of course, the whole room will raise their hands. It might be, how many of you, if you were a health and well-being speaker, how many of you want to have long, healthy lives? Everyone's going to raise their hands. Now, the challenge with this is, of course, it's going to be the stubborn ones, right? And here's how I like to deal with that, because when I've given this training to other speakers before, they've said, yeah, what about the stubborn ones who won't raise their hand for anything? Well, you can soften them with a little joke at this stage. So if you say, how many of you want long, healthy lives? Then you can just say, how many of you don't want long, healthy lives? And some people may raise their hands and, they want that rock and roll, I'm here for a good time, not a long time type of attitude, right? Then you've got most of the room, but then of course you've got the ones sat there like this. Then you can say, how many of you aren't going to raise your hands no matter what I say? And they'll laugh. Whatever happens, they'll laugh. They might ironically put their hand in the air. You've got their engagement now. So start with those questions. Once you've said that, then you can move into your actual introduction of yourself. You say, well, my name is Jermaine Harris, and I'm here to talk about how we can do both of those things. How we can live long lives and be healthy and with lots of energy along the way. And what you can do in there is you can drop a little credibility builder. So you could say, my name is Jermaine Harris, I'm the UK's fastest growing health and well-being YouTuber, and I'm going to talk about how we can do both of those things at the same time. Now next, you can empathize. You can say, look, I know that you're at this conference, I know it's been busy, I know you've listened to lots of speakers, I know you may not even want to be here this afternoon, but you've chosen, as far as I'm concerned, you've chosen to be here with me. And then you can share the fact that you're going to do everything in your power to make sure that it's worth their while. And that empathy that you're showing shows that you understand what it's like to be at a conference, you understand what it's like to be at a training event, you understand what it's like to be at a convention, and you're sharing that with them. And that you're sharing that you're not just going to take that for granted, you're sharing the idea that you're going to be present and do everything you can to make sure it's worth their while. Then you can do that age-old thing, where you tell them what they're going to learn. They're going to be thinking, what's in it for me? Okay then, Mr. Harris, what's in it for me? And of course, it's that rule of three. You can just give them 3 things they're going to learn. So again, if you're a health and well-being speaker, you could say, you're going to learn how to maximize your energy during the day, you're going to learn how to maximize the health of your gut, and you're going to learn how you can increase the length and longevity of your life. So those 3 things, you're going to tell them what's in it for them. And then they're going to be thinking, well, who are you? Who are you to tell me? And you're just going to share exactly why you're the right person to be telling them this. And if you go through this process, you're going to be knocking down, like sales objections, you're going to be knocking down objections in their mind as to why they should even sit and listen to you. And this gets the ball rolling. Now, it's important to do this with presence, with energy, with confidence, and of course, this can come with practice. This can come with practice with trusted friends, colleagues, coaches, mentors, time in the mirror, and really, really ingrain that confidence and that belief as you talk about that credibility. You talk about that energy. You talk about why you want these people to live a long time. Of course, I'm using health and well-being as an example here, but it's important that whatever your topic area is, that you exude that love, that passion, that enthusiasm to help each and every one of those audience members. Now, of course, there's many other ways to introduce a talk, but in my experience, and I can only talk from my experience, this is a wonderful way to get the ball rolling and knock down some of those objections and deal with those audience members that potentially don't want to be there. If you want to know more about this type of content, these type of ideas, I think we've got a couple of places left on the Discovery Day. At this point, it's April the 25th in Reading, and I'm going to pop the link below or around this video somewhere, depending on where you're watching it, and you can get a spot on this Discovery Day for free, just to discover more about what we're doing at the Fast Coach Academy and how we're supporting people just like you. If you're watching the end of this video, it's people exactly like you. They're looking to go full-time and really take off as full-time authors, speaker, trainers, and coaches. See you very soon.